It's a beautiful foggy morning here at Patriot Ridge Farm, and yes, you are seeing a completed high tunnel. Talk about a relief. Now, of course, we are not the ones who got it finished. With everything going on and just the schedule demands for all the stuff that we have and need to do, I contacted a couple people, and the builders come out of Pennsylvania, and a man and his son finished this in one day. Just over 9 hours, and they knocked it out. It made me feel a little bad about it at first, but it's like my wife said. She said, Mike, they do this all the time. This is what they do. She said, that's just like what you do for a living. You can't expect everyone to be able to do everything. So yes, it was well worth it. The price was not bad at all. I'm very happy with that. But honest to goodness, they completed this thing in one day. So this is done minus a few extra little things. Now I got the finished leveling the gravel up here along the front, and then all this area here I have to have, per the USDA contract or NRCS contract, I have to have 400 square feet of a gravel base for what they refer to as a heavy use area. And that's fine, because what I'm going to do is just lay out some landscape fabric through here and just take it right out to the driveway, and I'm going to gravel the whole area. And that way it's done. Got place to park, place to move everything through, so it'll be good. All right, now the other thing I have to do is clean up. And I told him, I said, don't even worry about cleaning up. I said, just leave everything where it is, as it is, and we'll take care of it. So I've got several pieces of the polycarbonate panel left, several cut pieces. There's some wiggle wire left. All this metal, I was very surprised to see. I don't know if this all just comes as a standard kit for whatever size that you're building, but so, you know, if I was doing like a 32 wide instead of a 22 wide, there's extra bars in stock there for all of that. But I've got all this extra left over, so I could probably find use for that in the future. But just need to come in here, clean the mess up, get all of that done. And then I'm going to come in here and do a till, just probably about 3 or 4 inches of till. And I need to do some amendment to the soil and then grow a cover crop this winter in here. So that way we've got, you know, good soil, nutrients and everything in it. And I can come in probably February and just kind of mow it down, and then put some tarp over it and green compost it down and be ready for next year's growing season. So the only, other than the cleanup here, and this is something we're going to try to get done today with everything else we have going on, so the blower motor up here, so these are 2 layers of plastic. The blower motor inflates the space between both of them, and we've got electric here. It's run down. It's direct Berry 12-2 wire, and we just ran it down from the building when we ran the electric from the house to the building. I'm going to take this piece of treated plywood. I'm going to mount it on this bar and this bar, and I'm going to put an electrical panel here. Just do like an outdoor small electrical panel, and that way I can run my electric right up to my fan up here. And then later on, along the purlins, I'm going to put probably a fan down towards the end, a fan up here, and then a fan here and a fan down there to circulate the air like this up here. And with these vents, these louvered vents, they'll open up and keep the temperature regulated in here, and kind of help keep the humidity down as we need to do that as well. So hopefully, well, like I said, we did 61 chickens yesterday, and we have to get them cut up. You can see the tents and everything set up out there. We have to get the ones that we're going to cut up today, and vacuum sealed, and then bag the rest of them. So we've got that. We're going to get started on here very soon. It's still nice and cool today, and we'll get that done, and then a couple little things. We would have been done sooner yesterday, but my Yardbird chicken plucker. So I bought that thing in 2022. Yesterday would have been the 6th time that we were able to use it. After the first 2 times, we had a major issue with the safety redundancy systems on it. Could not figure out where the break was, where the problem was, so we just had to rewire and bypass all that. It worked fine for 3 more times yesterday, and it's always cleaned and stored in our basement, temperature controlled, you know, everything like that. We put it in there, brought it up, plugged it in. The motor hummed for a second and it quit, and that was it. It would not work. Neighbor of mine who, if he says it can't be fixed, it can't be fixed. He come down and seen it or looked at it, got all good power going to the motor, but the motor itself just would not turn, and the drum would spin freely, so it just didn't work. So do I pay $280 for a new motor and $130 in shipping, or just do I wait till next spring and invest the money in a better, more commercial grade plucker? And I think that's what we're going to do. Thankfully, a good friend of mine who's another local farmer, he had a plucker. We called him. He said, come and get it. So we were able to get it and get that done. Now, as far as the Freedom Ranger collar yields, we took them out to 12 weeks. We didn't, I really could have done them at 10 weeks, probably at 9 weeks. But because we had a beach trip that we went to for the family, and then last weekend I was at the homesteading-ish conference in Charleston. Fantastic conference. If you guys are actively farming or wanting to start farming or homesteading or whatever, what a phenomenal show that was. I mean, honest to goodness, such good information. Really great speakers. There was Joel Salatin. There was Chuck and Sandra from Sheridan Park Farms, Josh from Stony Ridge Farm, the Daughtries from up in Ohio, and I can't remember the name of their farm right off the top of my head. And yeah, then they had the regional NRCS director up there, which was kind of odd because everybody's like more anti-government regulations in farming, and he was there supporting all of this, which was really cool. And then the West Virginia State Agriculture Commissioner was there. He's got a farm 2 counties over from us, active farmer since 1998, retired Marine, was a senator for a short stint and then became agriculture commissioner. Really good guy, really straightforward shooter. And I actually had a chance to sit with him and talk. As far as the other YouTube celebrities, we'll just call them the celebrity homesteaders and farmers. I'm the type of person, I didn't want to bother them, so I didn't go up and introduce myself to any of them, shake their hand or anything like that. Just the kind of person I am. I'll just kind of stand back and watch and listen and learn. But anyways, good to see them there. A lot of good information put out. Really looking forward to next year's conference. And I think this is going to be, there was I think 300 people there, which doesn't seem like a lot, like the other conferences, but this was the inaugural one. Troy and his group done a fantastic job doing it. Troy from Red Tool House down in southern West Virginia, he was the MC of the event, and he's one of the organizers of it. So they done a really, really, really great job. Phenomenal, great information. So looking forward to that one next year. We're still no rain, almost 3 months, not a drop of rain here where we're at. You watch the radar, like last night, we had black clouds, thunder, and lightning to the north of us. We had black clouds, thunder, and lightning to the west and south of us. And well, I'll take that back. I'll rephrase that. We got about 20 drops of rain. And that was it. So it has bypassed us. Every potential rain cloud has just broken up before it's got to us. We are in a severe drought. And while I was talking to the state agriculture commissioner down at the conference, he told me, he said, Mike, he said, by the numbers, he said, West Virginia is the driest state in the nation right now. He said, we are in a severe drought. And he said, we are drier than any other state. And I mean, there's areas 30 miles north of us, 30 miles south of us that are getting rain. But this whole part, this north central part of West Virginia, man, we're just not getting it. We're just not getting what we need. This morning we got up, looked at the weather, and it looks like it's going to rain this whole coming next week. So this is Sunday morning. So like starting tomorrow evening, I think it's supposed to start raining, or maybe even tonight, I can't remember. But it looks like we're going to start getting some rain, and hopefully, well, we're praying for it because we definitely need it. And I think I've said on a previous video that we are using our well for all of the animal watering. That includes putting mud or water in the wallers for the pigs and stuff like that. And I'm filling up 100-gallon waters for the pigs. And like every third day I'm out there, we're filling them up. We're putting water in their wallers and everything. We're probably pushing close to 1,000 gallons of water a week out of this well. And thankfully it is a 220-foot deep well, and we have lost maybe 5 PSI total. but it still keeps producing. The water gets better with every time that we run it and cycle that well, like we were told to do when we first had it drilled. So that's why we decided to start using it as our primary source for all the animals. I do need to get it retested again, probably before spring comes, and I'll do that. But I've spot tested the water by drinking it myself. No issues, tastes great. So we're really looking forward to seeing what the results of that will be. But enough of me. I'll give you a tour. Like I said, that's a mess in there, but it'll be cleaned up. Roll up sides here. Very simple setup, geared mechanism. Just give it a turn. And the sides roll up. And then you just turn it back the other way and the sides roll down. I have a little excess plastic here on the ends where they dub, because you have to double, it's double layered. I think it's 6 or 8 mil thick. It's really thick stuff. And you got to push it down in those channels and put that wiggle wire in there. And then of course we have sliding doors on the back, louvered vents. I don't think that plastic's going to bother me enough to make me want to get up there and trim it off. I may eventually, but it's not a priority of mine right now. And you can see the mess, but it's all right. I do not mind cleaning this up. I can have this cleaned up in an hour or less, and man, what a relief. Honest to goodness, this thing has been weighing heavy on me since the day we started on it, and it's done. I mean, like I said, other than the little electrical work we got to do, it is done. Well, and the gravel up front, but anyways. Very simple locking mechanism here, if I can get the doors together. And it's got key lock on it as well, so you can lock them. That just turns like that. Locks over that latch right. Where'd it go? Right there. There you go. So I've had to adjust. There's 2 rollers. There's one on each side. I had to adjust the one on the front, and I got to adjust the other one there because it makes the screw head. Excuse me. A screw head like right here is hitting that one roller, so I got to just adjust it out just a wee little bit. And I'm sure there'll be some adjustments as we move forward with this, but I mean, it's done. And what a relief. And I'll more than likely put gravel back here. I'll just put the fabric down on the back side, just past probably from here to right over there, and just put a layer of gravel down. And that way, you know, I can go in and out of both doors without worrying about coming in and out of mud, or, you know, having to cut all the grass and stuff in front of the doors and stuff. I may need to put a French drain on this side because of the slope that comes down like this. I'm just going to have to wait and see if I need to. That's probably something I'll do next spring, but I'll just cut a trench all the way down through here, and then I'll bring it out like this and run it right over the hill over there. So just clean up and a few finishing touches. I know that's going to bother a lot of people, but you know what? Doesn't bother me. Not now anyways. One of these days I'm sure my OCD will kick in, but I'm not worried about it right now. All right, so we've got chickens to start cutting up and bagging and everything, getting labeled. And man, those those collar yields, good Lord, big chickens, big chickens. There's probably, no kidding, a couple 10-pounders in there. And the breast on these chickens, I know everybody like the big wide thick breasts on the Cornish cross. These things probably have 8 to 10 inch breasts on some of them, some of the bigger ones. They're amazing. So I'll try to get a little video of that on here in a little bit. But in the meantime, stay prepared, stay free. God bless y'all.